Hi guys, and welcome to another cosplay in the kitchen. And today I am reviewing this lovely fella here. This is the Resident Evil Tyrant mask from Ghoulish Productions. This is the first time I've ever gotten a mask from Ghoulish Productions. I'm normally a kind of Trick or Treat Studios guy, but they're doing Resident Evil masks, which was really exciting for me. To cover a little bit about what they do, currently they have a couple of options. You have this fella here, which is the original Tyrant, the original final boss from Resident Evil 1. They've got two variations on the Licker, which is the creature with a really long tongue. They do an economic version without a neck and a deluxe version with a long neck. And currently they're doing Nemesis, who is probably the most famous Resident Evil baddie, who is the giant baddie from Resident Evil 3. At least that's what you can get in the UK. In America, I think they also do the Garrador, which is the kind of Wolverine-like guy from Resident Evil 4. So they had some really cool options. I really wanted to do the Tyrant because as a costume, because I have a soft spot for the original final boss. And also I felt like he was probably the easiest to make into a good wearable cosplay without spending a lot of money. Nemesis is kind of big heavy leather jacket and all sorts of accessories and a rocket launcher. And the Licker you could probably do with a good morph suit, but then you'd have to crawl around the floor for the entire con. And I didn't fancy that, so I wanted to go for this, which is the Tyrant. To keep you up to date, this costs £65 on Mad About Horror in the UK at the moment. It is probably a little bit cheaper in the US, they always are. But £65 for this isn't actually too bad for a deluxe quality licensed mask these days. That's why you're paying for a Trick or Treat Studios mask, and it has got this additional neck piece, which is nice. So to talk a little bit about him, this is the Tyrant. It's very much modelled, I believe, on the early 2000s remake that was for the GameCube of Resident Evil 1, and a Tyrant in that. If you go a little bit further back to the very original Resident Evil, these sort of veins were much more like a giant blocky pixely X on its face and things. So this is a little bit closer to the remake, which is nice because that's how it should look. And it's very much based on that original game with this kind of fixed grin and the teeth. If you look at some of the like fan art and models and figures of the Tyrant that have come out over the years, quite often he's sort of growling and yelling, but in that original game, he had this fixed grin, which is very much what they've done. You've got all the lovely sculpted details. He's got his one ear on this side and his ear missing on this side. He's got a little hole there, which helps with the hearing. And then he's got all his sort of pulsating, horrible veins coming up over here, all over the front, as they should. And then what you also get is this nice neck piece. Now I really like that they've included this neck piece, because you get a big heart on here, which, you know, in the original Resident Evil game, you couldn't really aim properly. You either aimed up, down, that was it. You had 3 lines of aiming. But I always imagined this was his weak spot. This is what you were shooting, the big glowing red heart on his chest. So I love that they've included that. You've got these wonderful white eyes, and they're really nicely done. They've got this kind of wonderful shine to them. They've got this kind of wet, disgusting look of eyes. They're really, really well done. All of the veins are differently textured and painted, so they've got this kind of wonderful depth look to them. The skin tone is nicely done. I think he's a little bit less grey than he is in the game. I think in the game he's almost a flat grey. Here they've given him a little bit of a fleshy undertone. There's even a sort of slight blue undertone that you can see, and then sort of grey and then a bit of yellow. But it adds to that sort of fleshy, realistic look. On the back, you haven't got a split either. So a lot of masks come with splits. They haven't, but he is quite big. I've got quite a big head, and he fits me fine. So there's no split. The only print you've got here is a little made in Mexico, you know, which is fine. It's really, really nice, thick latex. And the paint job on it is pretty much flawless. I have no complaints. There's no run over, there's no problems with the paint. There's nowhere where I feel like it would need kind of a rehaul to look good. You've got this sort of brown burn bits coming down here, which again kind of ties into the original Tyrant, where his left arm was all sort of brown and kind of looks burnt with a giant claw on the end. And the rest of him is grey. So he looks really good. One of the things with masks like this, if you're familiar with masks like this that have the white eyes, I'm thinking of, like, for example, the Deadite masks that you can get from Trick or Treat Studios, which I've got 2 of. Visibility is poor. And this mask is no exception. You see through these slots over the eyes, and unfortunately you can't see very well, but that is a sacrifice you have to make when it comes to these kind of masks. Okay, when you're going for a mask with the white eyes, you generally have to accept you don't have great visibility. And you know, I'm a cosplayer, I'm used to wearing things where I can't see properly, and if you just want it for display, it's a really nice display piece. I will show you what it looks like on, although like I said, I can't see a lot in it, so here we go. So there you have it on. And yeah, overall it's just a really nice mask. I think for something Ghoulish Productions have done, it's wonderful. For my first Ghoulish Productions mask, I can see it's very, very high quality. I'd probably make it actually slightly higher quality than the Trick or Treat Studios ones. It's really, really well done. It's really kind of gross and horrible, which I love. I'm looking forward to trying to turn it into a costume. I'm thinking of using a kind of morph suit and painting it up underneath and having it over a muscle suit, and keeping this neck exposed rather than tucking it in so you can see the great big heart. And I think it would be really fun and something you don't see done very often. I've never seen someone cosplay the original Tyrant, so I'm looking forward to giving it a go. I'm hoping Ghoulish Productions maybe make some more of these over time. At the moment, the one I'd say is missing from their lineup noticeably is Mr. X, which is the Tyrant for Resident Evil 2. Because he'd be a brilliant one, because he's kind of wearing a black trench coat and a fedora. You could turn him into a really good costume. I'd love to see that one made. But for now, this guy is the newest mask in my collection. I really like it. I'm really looking forward to wearing it for conventions. And I think he's truly hideous. So yeah, he's looking great. Until next time. But if you're interested, I will put a link down below, and you can order your own. Thank you very much, guys.